Welcome along to our latest video update on key areas of primary care finance. This month, we will be looking at different types of reimbursements that the practice can claim for. These mainly relate to premises and GP absences, but a simple one to start off with is your CQC fees. Your practice will pay an annual fee for the pleasure of being CQC registered. Invoices are usually sent at the beginning of the financial year and are for the year ahead, so hopefully you should have now received your invoice for 24-25. This fee is based on your list size and could be thousands of pounds, but it is fully reimbursable from NHS England. As soon as you receive your invoice, send a copy to your local NHS England finance team and they will arrange for reimbursement on the next available GMS payment. You don't have to wait until you've paid the invoice to submit it, and it doesn't matter if you pay the fee in instalments, you can still claim this in full. You will then need to keep an eye on your GMS statements just to make sure that it comes through. We do see a number of practices that are not aware that this can be claimed for, or they simply forget to submit their invoice, which we know is easily done when there is so much happening in general practice. Sometimes practices submit their claim, but for some reason reimbursement doesn't come through. If you think you might have missed a claim in the past, you should be able to make a retrospective claim. So get in touch with your local NHS England finance team to find out more. Next up is reimbursement for GP absences. If you have a partner or salary GP that is absent from the practice for sickness, maternity, paternity or adoption leave, then you can claim the cost of covering those sessions up to a specified amount per week. The sessions should be covered by a GP rather than an AMP or another clinical staff member. And the GP covering could be a locum or a partner in your practice or even an existing salaried GP, assuming that they don't already work full time. The reimbursement rates are noted on this screen. Maternity and adoption leave are paid up to 26 weeks, but the first 2 weeks are reimbursed at a lower amount. Paternity leave is reimbursed for up to 2 weeks, and this is the reimbursement that a lot of practices don't realise that they can claim for. If you've had a GP take paternity leave and you covered their sessions, but you didn't apply for reimbursement, you still might be able to make a claim. If you didn't engage a locum, it is possible that your partners covered the extra sessions instead, and in this case, you can still submit a claim. Reimbursement for sickness can be paid after the first 2 weeks' absence, and there are no medical exclusions. The reimbursement amount does change after the first 26 weeks. The second lot of 26 weeks are reduced by half. These are the maximum amounts that can be claimed per week and are not adjusted for the number of sessions being covered. So if a GP on maternity leave normally works 5 sessions a week, up to £1,751 can be claimed. If the same GP was to work, say, 8 sessions a week, the maximum amount you can still claim would be the £1,751. To claim, you will need to complete an initial application form followed by monthly claim forms. You will need to send information relating to the employee's contract or the partnership agreement, as well as documents such as the MAP B1 form or a sick note. If you have engaged in a locum to cover the sessions, you will need to send a copy of their invoice off. So make sure that they invoice you promptly, clearly showing the dates and sessions they have worked. The claiming process is tricky and many practices are put off by this. Instead, they often save up several claims and submit them together. This just makes it a little bit more painful. Try and submit monthly claims, otherwise it can have an impact on your cash flow. The reimbursements will come through on your GMS statement and should note the period on which they relate to. So please keep an eye on your GMS statements to make sure there are no gaps or missing claims. Unfortunately, the reimbursement rates have not changed since 2018, and they are not adjusted to take into consideration the actual cost of a locum. If you have a GP absent that normally works 6 sessions or more, it's going to be really difficult to cover these with a locum for £1,700 a week. It is worth checking what locum insurance you have in place at the practice, if you have any at all. Some policies will cover costs that exceed the NHS England reimbursement, or they might reimburse you for an extended period. Further details on these reimbursements can be found in the GMS Statement of Financial Entitlements Directions. Bit of a mouthful, quite a long document, but worth familiarising yourself with this. We'll be looking at premises reimbursement in more detail on our next update, but if we can help you with anything in the meantime, please do get in touch.